Hey, welcome to this month's co-creation card reading. I am Yas Naidoo-Jooste, and I cannot believe that we are almost at the end of the year. It feels like it was just a month ago that I was setting my goals for 2025, and now I am already having to set my goals for 2026. It's just crazy how fast this year has gone by and how much has happened, and how much has happened in just this month alone. Earlier in November, I launched the Divinely Guided Book Club, and it has been a super sweet start so far. I had such an amazing conversation with my friend and neighbor, Kaylee, and we had some oopsies with my cat who was making these horrific noises in the background. So it turned out to be a super fun and hilarious conversation. So do check that out on the Divinely Guided Book channel if you feel called to. And let us get into the reading for this month. We are going to be pulling cards for the month ending and going into the next month. Of course, this is a timeless reading, so if you happen to be listening to it at a later time, it is absolutely meant for you to receive it whenever you are listening to it. But right now, when it's being recorded, we are ending the month of November, going into December, and ending the year. Still cannot believe it. And I've decided to use the Inner Child Oracle deck and the Take What You Need Affirmation deck. And my reason for using these decks is because this month has felt so intense. I don't know if you've been feeling it. If I think about last year, this time, so it's November, Scorpio season, quite an intense time of deep reflection and transformation. And if it was planned for your soul's journey to go through like extreme death and rebirth during this time, like this is the time of the year when these things happen. And last year, this time, oh my goodness, so much was falling apart, like literally. Friendships were falling apart, plans that I had for like potential business ventures, which is falling apart, relationships with family were falling apart. It was just destructive. And I remember being in like the worst space ever. And it actually feels really nice to have seen just how valuable all of that destruction and devastation actually was, because now, although I'm still going through this Scorpio season of intense reflection and transformation, it's feeling much more internal compared to last year. So last year there was like physical things falling apart. This year it's like internal things falling apart, mindsets that I'm realizing has been absolutely sabotaging me my entire life, and behaviors that I've unconsciously been doing that's actually been holding me back. Like, we truly do not realize just how much our subconscious mind is controlling us on a day-to-day basis. But as you do the inner work and you are open to guidance from your higher self and the universe, it does come. The guidance and the wisdom slowly but surely finds its way to you. And so I have received so much in this month on what it is that is just not good for me in terms of the way that I think, the things that I'm trying to hold on to. And I'm experiencing so much. Well, it is quite turbulent. It is an inner shift, but I'm also experiencing so much relief in realizing, oh my gosh, like all the pain and suffering that I've been experiencing is all on me, and I am in control of it, so I can just decide to make a change. It's still been really intense. I am grateful for it. Of course, we are so grateful for the time of reflection. By the way, it's also Mercury retrograde at the time that I'm recording. It has been like, I think like 3 to 4 weeks where Mercury, the planet of communication and anything related to knowledge and information, even technology, it's making you see things from a different perspective, taking a step back, maybe even experiencing delays and frustrations. So that's like added an extra layer to this super intense period of just introspection and reflection. Sorry, such a long explanation for why I chose the Oracle deck, the Inner Child Oracle deck. But this is why I felt like we just need some inner child healing right now. It's been such an intense month. It's been an intense year, I'm sure. It has been for me. I know I'm not alone. So I just felt like how wonderful would it be to have a gentle, compassionate oracle deck to work with for the month's reading. And then I also thought I would sweeten things up with an affirmation at the very end, just before we end off the recording. I will pull an affirmation as we move into the month ahead. Okay, so let's get started with the reading, and let's just take a moment to settle into the space and get grounded and centered. So, wherever you are, provided it is safe, you're not driving or operating any heavy machinery, get comfortable in whatever way that you can and take a few deep breaths. You can close your eyes if that feels good. Just take a few deep breaths in and out. And think about what it is that you would like to experience at this time where you are in your life, and as you're moving into the month ahead. Think about what your intentions are and what it is that you wish to be calling in for yourself. And you can take one final deep breath in and out. Oh, okay, and if you close your eyes, you can open them, maybe do a little bit of a stretch or a wiggle, get the energy moving, and we're going to get into our card reading. So I'll be first pulling a card for what do we need to know for the month that is ending. Look how stunning the back of this deck is. The front of the cards are even more stunning, but it's just so beautiful. It's a full moon with flowers, and I love the colors. Okay, so let's pull a card. What do we need to know about the month that is ending? Oof, be still. Cultivate a space of stillness and silence to just be. I'm going to hold it up so you could take a moment to think about what this message means for you for the month that is ending. And the message that I'm getting here is, in the current month, consider where you have been called to slow down, take some breathing space. Maybe something literally came to a pause or to a complete stop, maybe even a complete ending. And just consider, what did that mean for you? Which area in your life or what particular event or experience called you to slow down? And how did it serve you? I know that sometimes when things come to an end, especially if we absolutely did not plan for anything to come to an end, it can be quite disgruntling. It can be quite a shock. But if we really do take the time to think about, why did this come to an end? It's not like you just have pure bad luck. At least I don't believe so. When something comes to an end, I truly believe that this happens because it really needed to come to an end, or it really needed to come to a pause, because something is guiding you to take a deeper look into your life, how you're spending your time, how you are spending your energy, the things that you think about, the actions that you take. When it almost feels like we're forced to slow down, it's almost always serving us in some way. So take a moment to think about that while I pull the next card. Okay, our next question. What can we expect in the month ahead? So appropriate, following the card that we just got. You can do hard things. It is not as impossible as it may feel. Oof. This is this is hitting me quite deep. And the picture of the boat that is sailing through clouds is giving me the feeling of the energy of this last month, where it was just so intense, and with Mercury being in retrograde, like the mind has been so clouded and heavy, and so we're moving through clouds, like we can't necessarily see where we're going, but we're being reassured that we got this, we can do this, our soul chose this, because our soul knows that we are capable of anything. We are capable of doing hard things. And so, if you considered in the previous card's message what area came to a bit of a standstill for you, or just slowed down, this potentially did bring a lot of challenge. It could have been more mental challenge, if anything, having to cope with life changing in a way that we just don't want it to, in a way that was quite abrupt and unexpected. Can you look at the blessing behind it, in that you are actually being strengthened? So everything that we go through, every difficult experience, every challenge that we face, it always does strengthen us in some way. Like, I know that sometimes it might feel like it's way too much to say that a lesson always has to come out of any difficult experience. I get that. But you are still being strengthened in wisdom because you have now gone through this. And so, should there be a next time in the future, or maybe someone that you know who goes through this in the future, you have this experience and this wisdom, and that is strength. So, ultimately, you are being strengthened. And this is just preparing you for whatever is ahead. Not necessarily that there's going to be more challenge ahead. I do feel like there definitely is change ahead, because the number on this card is 41, and 41 reduced in numerology is 5, and 5 is the number of big changes, and also just the number 4 and 1. It could even mean changes in your home situation, whatever that means for you, whether it's your day to day routine, how you spend your time at home, or maybe there's some moving happening. This would apply to just a few of you. You can take that if it resonates. Oh gosh, so much is coming through. Like, even this boat could indicate a move that is happening across water, whether it is a close by location or maybe quite a significant move overseas. Of course, take that if it resonates, but it just feels like there's movement happening. And so, whatever has happened recently or in the last month, it is definitely preparing you for the change that is coming next. And let's pull another card for what action are we being guided to take as we move into the month ahead. Ooh, this is so interesting. It is okay to be misunderstood. Perception is not always based on the truth. Wow. Have a look at the card and just think about what this might mean for you. It's okay to be misunderstood. This picture has a swan that is swimming on its own. Again, traveling across water. What does this mean? But we've got this swan here that is in a lake that is looking very peaceful, but the area behind the swan is really dark. And like, I'm not getting negative vibes here. It's just quite unknown. So, moving forward, trying to make sense of what is happening, but not really knowing why things may be happening, where you may be going, and also, the noise of people and external things and factors just adding to the intensity of everything. The message here is that it's okay if how you're moving forward with whatever changes are coming up, it's okay if you do things in your own way because it makes you feel good, it makes you feel at peace, it makes you feel like you are aligned with what your soul came here to do. And this is not necessarily going to make sense to the people around you, whether it's your close one-to-one relationships or like groups of people, organizations, communities. We can't always expect everybody to know and support what we're doing. And so if you do experience some disconnect with others because of the changes that are happening for you, because of the choices that you're making, just know that like this is part of the plan. It's not easy. It is not necessarily a pleasant experience, but it is part of the plan. You were meant to go in whatever direction you're being called to go in, and whoever does not get you and support you, unfortunately, they were not meant to come with you. For me, that is like the hardest part of existence, when you have these hopes of being close to certain people, and the way in which you are changing and the way in which life is calling you to change, you can just see that they're not going to get it, and they may even turn on you and resent you and criticize you, and that is not, absolutely not what you want, but it's how things are that I I do not like that part of life, but I am learning to accept that it's part of what allows our heart to expand. Because when we allow ourselves to be understanding for where other people are, it opens our hearts to forgiveness and compassion and patience and acceptance. And yes, it would be so wonderful if the way in which we are understanding of others would be what we receive in return. But again, that is just how life is. It's not always going to be what we want, and it's not always going to be easy. But there is always a gem at the end of that difficult experience. There's always something beautiful to take away, even if you only get to know what that gem is at the end of this lifetime and your soul is continuing its journey, and you can then look back and think, oh, that's why I went through this. You may not necessarily know why in the current lifetime, but I believe that there will always be something beautiful to take away from it. And just looking at the numbers, 18 is on this card, and 18 reduced would be 9. So that's telling me that whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're doing it intentionally or whether life is just reorganizing itself for your highest good, it's bringing about an end to a chapter in your life, potentially a massive chapter, a huge cycle that's being closed out. And this was absolutely a part of your soul's plan, your destined path. So just trust that you're where you're meant to be, you're on the right path, even if you feel like you're blindfolded and you don't know where you're going, just know you're on the right path. And whatever is coming to an end, whatever chapter is whatever chapter is coming to an end, whatever's closing out, it is leading you to something so beautiful and peaceful. Like I see this swan so peacefully swimming on this lake, and the lake looks so clean and clear, and I feel like that's where you're headed. That's what the future looks like. It's going to be clear. You're gonna know why you're here, why you do what you do. You're going to be living intentionally. You're going to be living on purpose. Ooh, that felt like a much needed confirmation, even for me. And I would like to pull one more card just to get some guidance on what our emotions may be trying to communicate with us right now. So, like I mentioned, this month has been heavy, it's been intense, and whatever feelings you may have been having, it's obviously there for a reason, especially with Mercury being in retrograde. Whatever is coming up for you, it's not there to make life difficult. I know it is frustrating to feel challenged by the thoughts and the feelings that come up, but it is coming up to bring it to your attention because it's something that wants to be released or set free, made peace with in some way. So let's get a message on that. What is our emotions trying to communicate with us? Ooh, that fell on the floor, so it's a big deal. Let me pick it up. Oh, okay. I need just a second to take this in. It makes me very emotional. The message on this card says, you are wanted. There is a home waiting within. Okay, I'm going to hold this up for you and I'm going to just take a few breaths. I'm not surprised that this card hit me with such a huge wave of emotion. That was the question that I asked. But it's also something that I've been feeling lately. where is my place in this world? And like, I feel like this is so tied to the messages that came through earlier. Like, it looks like someone has found their home. It's not the most fancy looking home. It actually, it looks like a piece of rock that has grown out of the earth, and someone has found their path home within this boulder. And the message here, the reason why the emotions have been coming up and they've been feeling as heavy as they have been, is because we're being guided to pay attention to where we might be telling ourselves we don't belong, we are not wanted. I'm okay. I don't think that all of this emotion is mine. I think that I'm picking up the collective feelings, and it is pretty intense. But the message here is we are wanted. The fact that we were born, the fact that we exist, the universe wanted us, the earth wanted us. I'm not going to talk about people just yet, because often it is our experience with people feeling disconnected and being let down, disappointed, that makes us feel like we don't have a place here. But I just want you to tune into the fact that life wanted you here. You would not have been born if you were not wanted for your contribution to your soul's evolution, to the evolution of the planet, to the evolution of every other soul on this earth. So you are here on purpose. You are wanted and you are needed. And I mentioned it feels like there's a move happening for you. It could be that there's a change in your home. It could be in a literal sense. You could actually be finding a new home where you feel like this is what you've been waiting for. This is the place that you feel at peace. Or you could be finding home in a more figurative sense. Like you're finding home within yourself because you're now realizing that you are here for a reason, and that home is not always a physical place, a building, or people around you. Home is wherever you are. Home is whatever moment you find yourself in. And so, whatever you've been feeling, go easy on yourself. I know it's tough, but just know that it is bringing to your attention. This is the time that you are finding home, what home really feels like. So we're going to do some reflection. I should have mentioned you need to grab your journal earlier, but of course you can pause the video to do that if you need. But we're definitely going to be taking a few minutes to reflect on this, especially this one. Oh my goodness. There is a home waiting within. Oh, if any of you are moving, if any of you are like literally finding a new place to live, and yeah, whatever that looks like, I would love to hear from you. I've actually been getting this feeling for myself that I'm going to be moving soon because I've been collecting boxes. Like whenever I make a purchase online, it comes in a box, and I've been hoarding boxes for like the last year. I can't really explain why, other than this feeling of I'm going to need the boxes to pack up my things because I am moving. And it makes no sense because we have zero plans to move. Yeah, there's nothing calling us to move anywhere. Of course, I have like dreams about where I would like to live, but there are absolutely no concrete plans to move at all. And yet this message is coming up. I've been collecting boxes for a while. I'm so curious to know if something like that is happening for you, or maybe if it's just you coming to a place of peace within yourself and you're finding a home within yourself. That is also huge. You know, I feel like we don't give enough credit to the inner shifts that happen within us. We feel like we have to physically move in order to experience change and to experience a better life. But truly, the change first needs to come within us. Because if we move to a different place thinking that life is going to be better, whatever we're carrying with us, whatever density and heaviness and just chaotic thinking and approach to living, if we take that to the new environment, it ain't going to be that pleasant. We're just going to experience life as it was in a different place. So, really give yourself credit if you've been noticing changes in just the way that you've been thinking and how you've been feeling about yourself and your place in this world. Even if it's improved by 1%, that is huge. And that shift, that teeny tiny shift, can actually bring about the bigger shifts, like literally moving homes, because you're now being called to a place that holds the vibration of what you are tapping into. Ooh. Do let me know if any of this resonates for you. And if something happens for me, I will definitely let you know as well. All right, so let us now spend a few minutes reflecting on what messages came through. I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes. And you can also have a look in the comment section where I will include the names of the cards so that that can help you as you do your reflecting. And do pause the video if you need to grab your journal and pen and maybe something to drink. And we will get started. So I will see you in 10 minutes. reflection time has come to an end, so you can just finish up whatever question or thought you were on. All right. If there's anything that you would like to share from your reflection, please do. I know that it is a bit intense, but there are ways of sharing without revealing too much, and it may help resonate with so many others. So, if you feel called to, of course, you can absolutely leave a comment. And I would like to share a bit, and I want to give a bit of a disclaimer that I may get emotional over this, like you saw earlier, because this month has been really intense, more mentally and emotionally and even physically than anything else. So, for the first card, which was Be Still, that was the question, how can we, or what do we need to know about the month that is coming to an end? I really did come to a standstill in my day-to-day routine. You may have heard in a previous video that I injured my back, and I know it may not look like it, but I've got some nice support here behind me. Um, and I've also been doing a lot of stretches and yoga to help relieve the pain. And I don't really have a reason for why I'm experiencing this pain. So I did go to physio, I went to the doctor, I even had x-rays done. Like, I was so concerned that the pain was like radiating from the bottom of my back all the way to the top, and it was even radiating down my arm and my leg. And so it was getting scary, and so that's why I decided to get x-rays done. And good news, the x-rays came back as normal, but I got frustrated because I was like, I need a reason, damn it. I need an explanation for why I'm going through this pain. Um, but it has really slowed me down with just the way that I move around my home and the way that I move around going to places. Like, it's not that comfortable for me to drive. I have to keep my traveling really short and maybe not even travel at all, um, just to help relieve the pain. It is difficult for me to stand. It is difficult for me to sit. It's I'm only okay when I'm laying flat on my back. And there's so little that I can do when I'm lying on my back. Like, apart from sleeping, I've been reading books. So I have found a way to like hold a physical copy of a book with my arms resting on the bed, and my wrists do end up hurting from holding it up. And then I have also started listening to audiobooks again. That was something that was trending for me back when I was working full time and having to travel to work. It was very like convenient and enjoyable for me to listen to audiobooks while I was traveling and coming back. And I had not listened to audiobooks in such a long time, but I've been doing that now because it's just easier when I'm having to lay down to rest. And it's been so uncomfortable to like have lived your life in a certain way, to have been used to doing things like bending down to play with my cat hurts. It's such a first world problem, but like every little bit of movement, uh, is challenging for me. And so I've been spending more time just being still, like literally, as the card said, I've just been still, mostly lying down. And if any of you know what tends to happen when you lay down and do nothing, all the stuff from inside, the stuff that you have been shutting yourself off to, the stuff that you've just been suppressing over the years, especially, those things start to slowly or quickly rise to the surface. And what ended up happening this month, so as difficult as it has been the greatest blessing, because what it revealed to me was a limiting belief that had been festering for countless years. I actually I haven't done the reflection to think back to exactly when, what moment in time this belief had begun building. But basically, I was holding the belief that I am not good enough. And it has to do with my relationship with certain people, because of me not being accepted, not being understood, not being supported, not being celebrated, not being cherished. All the things that I wish to give to other people. I've had some, I've had some hard years and hard experiences of not receiving that from the people that I really wished that I could have. And so it's been very difficult to sit with, especially because I can't do anything else. Like, it's so easy to keep busy and to like be doing things, keeping your mind occupied, to not lose yourself in these difficult thoughts that come up. So it's been so hard to having to be laying down because I need to rest, and having all of these things surface and have to like confront it because it's there. It didn't just knock on the door, it like broke the door down, and it's like, I'm here. You gotta deal with me now. So that then leads me to the next card, um, which is you can do hard things. That was the second card for the question, what can we expect in the month ahead? And what I decided to do, because I had this realization of I really care about certain people, and even though they don't get me, I don't want that to be the end. Of course, it's not up to me. It absolutely does require the other party to be willing to work with you to some degree. But I've decided to try to reach out to them. And so the best way that I've decided to make this happen, or to at least initiate, is to write a letter. Because I recently discovered, by receiving a tarot reading from one of the most brilliant spiritual teachers and card readers. Her name is Victoria Maxwell, or she goes by Vix Maxwell. She offers intuitive readings, and I know that I am an intuitive reader and I can do readings for myself, but really we are here to be supported by people in this world. We're not here to only be dependent and to do things on our own. And I even believe that some messages will just not come through to you because you are meant to allow yourself to be held and supported by other people. And so And I love receiving card readings for myself. So I had a reading done by her recently, and I learned that writing is actually one of my strongest forms of communication. And it's how I can most connect with people. And as you have seen earlier, I also get really emotional. And like this has been me keeping myself together. Usually I'm not able to compose myself, especially when it comes to confronting people about things that have been difficult in the relationship and about things that have made me feel really hurt and abandoned. I usually cannot even get through that conversation because the tears are the tears are taking up all the space. So I decided that I would give writing a letter a shot. And I feel like just the whole reading that came through in this recording has actually been like everything that I needed to receive and be guided through what my plans are. Because even though it's like new territory for me to write this letter and to reach out and have no idea whether it's going to be received well, the guidance is it's okay to be misunderstood. That was the third card. Like, it doesn't matter. What matters is how you choose to move in the world, how you choose to show up for yourself, and how you choose to show up for others, irrespective of how they show up for you. The way in which people treat you should not take away from who you want to be. I know it's easier said than done, but if we allow ourselves to be swayed and to be influenced by other people, then we're giving all our power away to them. And we should stand strong and firm in who we are, even if we are not understood or supported or celebrated. We can give that to ourselves and know that we did our best. We never have to question, could I have done more? I got through that okay. I really did expect to be like half bawling with tears because this is just such a sensitive topic for me. But maybe it's also my guidance and confirmation that I am getting through this. I can do hard things, and you can also do hard things. So that is our reading and reflection for this month and the month ahead. And I did say that I would like to pull an affirmation for the month ahead, just a nice little sparkly thing to wrap up this recording and just to give us something nice and fuzzy to hold on to as we go into the month ahead. So, what affirmation can we hold with us as we move into the month ahead? Oh my goodness, there's a boat on this picture. Ah, oh, the message. What you're currently going through is fulfilling a purpose. What you're currently going through is fulfilling a purpose. I'm going to hold that up for you. If this is not a sign and a confirmation and validation that you are exactly where you're meant to be, you are moving in the right direction, and what you are doing is on purpose, it was destined. It's what your soul chose at this time. I don't know. What else could be a more significant, clear sign? Gosh, the symbols on the cards, we've got two boats, Okay, we have two boats. um, two of the cards had pictures of homes on them. There we go. We've got, like, if you can see that clearly, there's like these houses or buildings. And then three of the cards, sorry, not three, two of them have water. So the one with the swan and the affirmation card. That's really interesting. It's not often that I see like so much synchronicity across the cards, and the affirmation actually fell down. So I wonder if that's trying to tell us, like, this is a big ooh, this is a big affirmation for us. What you're currently going through is fulfilling a purpose. Oof, maybe you want to write that down somewhere. Put it like on a sticky note in a place where you'll see it for the next month. Maybe write it on your phone. Keep it as your screensaver. It would be nice to be reminded that you are on purpose. Okay, and we can bring this reading to an end. Let's take a moment to close the space. So if it is safe for you to do so, you can get comfortable, close your eyes if that feels good, and just take a deep breath in and out. And of all the messages that have come through today, think about the message that most resonates for you. And you can take another deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, if you've closed your eyes, you can open them. Give yourself a little bit of a stretch and a wiggle. Ooh. Thank you so much for joining me in this reading. This reading turned out to be much longer and so much more deep than I ever expected it to go. Like, I really thought that it was going to be like a fun, uh, just a fun, light-hearted reading. Like I mentioned, I picked the Inner Child Oracle because I just wanted it to be light-hearted, and I picked the affirmations deck to just add some sparkle to it. I just thought it was going to be like easy going. It has been easy going, but damn, it's been deep. And it really doesn't take a lot for something to hit so hard. And it's the very little things that we experience in life, the little moments that can mean the most and can transform ourselves in the greatest, most highest ways. So I hope that you enjoy this reading. It has been an absolute pleasure and joy to have you here with me. I will see you in the next video. If you are joining us in the book club, I will see you there. We are in the middle of our launch season where we're just reading whatever book we happen to have. So there'll be more videos posted about that in the coming days. So if you want to be a part of that, I will see you there. But nevertheless, I will see you again soon, and have a wonderful month ahead. Bye-bye.